bridges. We're investing in you. Want to learn more? Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
You could see a lot of like your cars are out there actually hydroplaning. I think it's a dangerous situation.
Mama?
She's on her way, bud.
Hey, hon. It's nasty out there.
I'm glad you're home.
Stay safe.
I will. Tell them to save me some.
When others head in, we head out. Dominion Energy.
Who is Interiors Market? Not your mother's furniture store. A fun, no-pressure place to get design ideas and shop for the latest trends. A place to buy furniture, rugs, and accessories cheaper than the internet or those big box stores. A place you can customize furniture so it fits your vision exactly. Or buy from stock and take it home today. So hurry to Interiors Market and see who we really are.
CSRA kids in public.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Plans for a quick dinner run quickly changed for one mother after gunfire rings out at Augusta Chick-fil-A.
So when I heard it, it was like, hey, guys.
We have new details from witnesses who saw the moments leading up to a drive-through shooting.
Plus, we're on your side tonight live with new details on a spike of hit and runs in Richmond County, along with plans to revitalize affordable housing in Augusta. These stories and much more just ahead. But first up, that cold snap across Augusta actually broke a record overnight, dropping our temperatures below freezing.
And the Columbia County Fair starts tonight, but you probably want to grab a jacket before you head out, Riley.
Or two.
Yeah,
may need a couple layers out there. It's going to be another chilly evening and a very cold night. We actually did see temperatures all the way into the mid and upper 20s early this morning. That wasn't. I'm looking at a little bit warmer temps heading our way this weekend in just about 10 minutes.
Getting to our top story tonight, a trip to pick up dinner took a turn for one woman after deputies say another driver shot at a homeless man who was trying to get into his car.
no one was hurt, but the shooting rattled customers and workers there. Nick Veland joins us live from the Peach Orchard Road location. So, Nick, walk us through what happened that night.
Yeah, well, it was around this time yesterday. People were getting off of work, making their way to this Chick-fil-A off of Peach Orchard Road, and that's when their dinner plans took a turn.
Cold weather brought Crystal Galise to Chick-fil-A,
I really wanted that chicken noodle soup last night.
but she never did.
There was a pop, and I looked at my fiance and I say, was that a gunshot?
Crystal's question answered itself by everyone's reaction.
This Chick-fil-A employee with the dustpan and broom, like, completely shocked, pale on his face, come running around the corner. Someone shot, there was shot, there was shot.
She said managers told everyone to come inside, but they drove away, and that's when she saw
The homeless man laying on the ground with, there was two customers on that side by the drive-thru, and one of the men had a gun drawn on him.
even though no one was hit by a bullet, she was still scared.
I was in my car, but I was literally shaken.
Even though it wasn't Sunday, Chick-fil-A closed for the night. Emotions still high a day later.
It was crazy. It was like being that close to a shooting. It was crazy.
A dinner she won't forget.
Actually seeing that man laying there, that was an eye-opener.
And it still hasn't sank in what happened last night for Crystal.
Did that really happen last night? I was actually there, and that really happened.
And again, no one, including the suspect, was hit by a bullet. And moving forward, Crystal said that she's going to be a little bit more vigilant next time she gets in the drive-thru line.
Yeah, certainly something that'll stick with you. Not the right place. New within the last hour, the Aiken County School District is mourning the loss of one of their teachers. According to the Aiken High School website, English teacher Stephen Jones passed away earlier today. They say he died at his home. The message to parents also says he started with the school this year, but previously taught at Schofield Middle for several years. Counselors met with his classes today and will continue to offer support during this time. Deputies want you to keep an eye out for this man, 30-year-old Logan Smith. Columbia County deputies say that he was last seen walking on I-20 near the Appling Harlem Highway exit. He was wearing khaki pants and a green long-sleeved shirt. He's diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, so they want to track him down as soon as they can to make sure he's safe. If you have any information on where he could be, call authorities.
Just into our newsroom this evening, the overtime investigation into the former Wagoner fire chief may be growing this evening. Georgia is no stranger to car crashes. In 2020 alone, we had more than 331,000 across the state. Hit and runs fall into that category, and deputies say those numbers are also on the rise. And if they aren't deadly, they still leave a mark on victims. Cindy Hood live for us right along Riverwatch Parkway with a story behind the numbers.
Of the roughly 9,000 car crashes in Richmond County this year alone, more than 1,300 of those are hit and runs, according to the sheriff's office. And these cases range from someone leaving the scene because of a suspended license, or maybe it's a parking lot hit, or maybe a bumper-to-bumper type hit you get while sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic.
I was riding up Riceboro Road, got along in front of Pizza Hut, and was stopped because there was traffic in front of me where the light was on red.
She stopped, but behind her,
This truck, GMC black truck with a grill similar to a Denali, came up and slammed into the back of my car and pushed me into the car in front of me.
beating her car front and back.
We thought maybe he or she would pull into the Pizza Hut, but they continued to drive off, being in the far right lane, going down Highland Avenue.
Her case is just one of more than 1,300 hit and runs in Richmond County so far this year.
I've got cases over here from last month. I've got them in the file there from all year long. If we get any additional information, we'll follow up on it as we can.
Timing is a driving force.
Definitely need as much information as we can, as quickly as we can, to try and get them cleared up. We never stop looking until we can actually clear the case out.
Which can take hours or years.
Every little detail, it's crucial.
Sometimes even a picture can help.
Fight the fight for those that survive an accident and by a hit and run person and catch them.
Again, the sheriff's office says if you are in a hit and run, to gather as many details as you possibly can, because even the tiniest bit of information can help them help you.
And we have seen more than our fair share around here lately. Sydney, thanks for the live update there along Riverwatch.
Right now, supporters are gathering to hear from a Richmond County sheriff. These days, he's a sergeant with the Richmond County Marshal's Office. Having a car to get to work is something a lot of us take for granted, but not everyone has that luxury. In 2021, United Way partnered with Lyft to fight the labor shortage. This year, they've booked more than 2,600 rides to get people to work. As Hallie Turner reports, the city just announced a partnership with the Biden administration to keep it running here.
You may know him as Wade Union.
I'm great, bro. I see you, bro.
But behind this wave is a story.
I was homeless here for like 2 years.
Napoleon Samuel's life was a struggle before he met God.
It was really bad. I was going through hard times with doing drugs, alcohol.
On top of that, he didn't have a ride to work.
At that time, I didn't have that opportunity. You have to try to reach out to help yourself. No one's just going to help you. You have to help yourself. And if the opportunity is there, you should reach out and grab it.
Brittany Burnett with United Way of the CSRA says most of the calls they get are for rides.
So many people in our community are wanting to get to work, but having a vehicle is something we can all take for granted.
And without adequate public transportation, the options are limited. But they are making the opportunity to get to work a lot easier with Ride United. Here's how it works. You dial 211 and tell them where you need to get to work, and they'll text you this code. You enter that code right in here on the Lyft app, and then what you do after that is then you get in the car and go with no charge.
What we're finding is many of these folks that need rides are going to places that many of us frequent. The hospital, they're going to work at a manufacturing plant, they're working at fast food restaurants.
And the need is growing.
For this year, up through the beginning of October, we've booked over 2,600 rides for those residents. So we're seeing a huge increase in the need.
Within the first 3 days of launching this, they have booked more than 200 rides, allowing them to continue the mission.
Sometimes people just literally need a little Band-Aid for a little while. And if this is the small Band-Aid that gets their wound to heal, then they can move on to something better and bigger after that.
For now, this program runs until the end of this year, and if you'd like more information, you can head to our website, wrdw.com.
Some breaking news to update out of Jefferson County. Police have found that 37,000-pound road grader they say a missing inmate actually took off in almost a week ago. They found it over in Bloomington, Georgia, about 100 miles away, closer to Savannah. Richard Sawyer was an inmate at the Jefferson County Correctional Institute when he took off after a work detail last Friday. The grader he took off in maxes out at about 27 miles an hour. He is still on the run tonight and considered dangerous. Still to come on News 12, a story behind the ruins of this old church dating back to before the American Revolution. We'll take you there in a one-tank trip.
And another cold night ahead with low temps in the upper 20s by daybreak Friday. Looking warmer, though, heading into the weekend. We'll have that full forecast coming up.
Want to go inside the ruins, though, you need to call ahead. We have the number on our website. And quick congrats to Will, just being voted best TV reporter in Augusta.
He always
love his
had our vote, so we're
Absolutely.
thrilled.
Well done, Will.
A several-year-old Columbia County rape and robbery case goes to court this week, and a jury had their say today. We're taking you to the courtroom next.
First Alert, dare to compare.
Life in prison. That conviction came down today for one man who had been behind bars for a rape and robbery that happened in Columbia County back in 2016.
The jury found Damian Evans guilty on 8 different counts, and Taylor Martin was in the courtroom for us.
The day started out with closing arguments from the defense, pleading with the jury to not deliver a guilty verdict for Damian Evans. The case dates back to 7 years ago. It was the defense's biggest argument, calling it an injustice to try a case after such a long period of time.
Having somebody to wait 7 years to try a case is an injustice.
In the afternoon hours of May 22nd, 2016, Evans yanked a 60-year-old woman to the ground, making her lose consciousness, and sexually assaulted a 46-year-old woman at King's Spa in Martinez. After showing footage from that day at the beginning of their argument, the state said the evidence was all there.
You have every single charge, every single element met on this video. There's no doubt.
And after deliberating for more than 2 hours and re-entering the courtroom to watch the surveillance video in its entirety, it seems the jury agreed.
Count 1, rape, with the jury found the defendant guilty. Count 2, aggravated sodomy, with the jury found the defendant guilty.
All of those charges were enough for Judge Cheryl Jolly to sentence Evans to life in prison, stating his actions show he is a danger to the community.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
The undefeated Midland Valley Mustangs are coming off their incredible 49-48 win over North Augusta on Friday. I'm calling that game the Rally in the Valley because it had it all and could very well be the best game we see all year. By finding a way to keep answering the bell time and time again to defeat the Jackets for the first time since 1998, the Mustangs are now hosting their first playoff game in the Valley since 2015. Head coach Earl Chapman says by getting the job done and conquering their past demons against North Augusta to finish the regular season with a perfect 10-0 record, that's helped them take a massive weight off their shoulders heading into the postseason.
I think the weight more so, though, is having the undefeated record through the regular season. Once you get into the playoffs, everybody's carrying the same weight of trying to be undefeated, because if you're not going to go undefeated, then you're not winning it, right? So I think it's more like now there's almost like a reset for us, where we're back to 0-0, and, hey, can we go 5-0 again?
According to the newest edition of the South Carolina Prep Media Poll, Midland Valley is the 5th best team in all of Class 4A. The Mustangs' first-round playoff game against Easley will be our under-the-lights game of the week, and we'll have live coverage from the Valley starting tomorrow at 5:30. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.
All right, make sure you're protecting all your sensitive outdoor plants and make sure your pets have a way to stay warm tonight. We are going to be back down below freezing for most spots across the region. Upper 20s and low 30s for most spots by daybreak Friday. Definitely going to be a cold start to the day. Our afternoons do start to warm up over the next several days, though. We should be hitting the upper 60s Friday, 70s through the weekend, and then we're getting back close to 80 degrees by later next week. Most likely Wednesday, Thursday next week, we should hit the 80s. We got some big football games out there tomorrow evening. Kickoff temps in the mid-50s. During game time, we should be in the 40s, though, so bundle up if you're heading out to those games out there tomorrow night. Here's a quick look at our 7-day forecast. Again, we are going to hang on to sunshine through the weekend. Warmer temps next weekend. Just get ready for another cold night tonight.
We are live again at the top of the hour on NBC 26.
Then we're back with more news 12 tonight at 11. We'll see you there.
Top of the hour on NBC 26.
Then we're back with more news 12 tonight at 11. We'll see you there.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions, finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your family.
CBS. Live from Augusta. Breaking news.
Good evening. We begin with this breaking news out of Augusta, where, as you see there, firefighters are on the scene of a large fire. This is the end of Broad Street toward Lake Olmsted in Augusta's Harrisburg community. It's happening right now with this live video from the scene.
Dispatch says that building that caught fire is an abandoned building and there are no injuries, so that is good news. We're working to learn how it started, but of course it is a frigid, cold night out there. That area does have a homeless population, so we're working to find out a little bit more, but I believe it used to be an old church and that building is abandoned now.
Huge presence of law enforcement and firefighters on the scene right now. Looks like a crew from Georgia Power is out there as well. And this is one of those fires, a big fire you can see from all over town. As we check out our view from downtown, looking back towards that end of Broad Street, you can see it as we get at a distance here. But Riley, folks all over town might be able to see that smoke.
Absolutely. 10 minutes.
It may be the future of public housing in Augusta, a brand new development that would eventually replace the older Allen Homes housing project nearby.
But first, the plan has to beat out 9 others for a larger $40 million grant from HUD. It's all through the Choice Neighborhood Program. HUD provided an initial $450,000 to create this plan to help struggling neighborhoods. Audrey Dickerber live for us in the newsroom. So, Audrey, this is an area struggling with an affordable housing crisis.
Right, and the goal is to build a new affordable housing community near job opportunities, schools, early education, parks, stores, and public transportation, as well as provide on-site employment training and support. But right now, it's just a dream on paper without the funding. If approved, they would build an entirely new housing complex.
The planned development is not on site, and so residents won't have to move. They won't have to live in a construction zone. When the new site is completed, then they will be able to mass move at that time or move at that leisure.
People that live here are ready for something new.
The project that we see and talk about today is very good. And if they say you can pack up tonight and go, I'm gone.
Some say safety is a concern.
It has died down a little, more so. But when I first moved there, every week they were shooting guns.
Others say it is too loud or that there aren't enough lights.
We have to walk out there in it. And I see a lot of people out there with their flashlights on from the cell phone. And so that is another concern. They shouldn't have to do that.
They are hopeful the new development, if it happens, will fix these issues.
We would be on a bus line where the elderly wouldn't have to walk up the street and try to catch a bus, stand an hour or two waiting on a bus. Then the kids have something in the neighborhood to do after school.
This wouldn't be only for people who live in Allen Homes. This would be an affordable housing development that houses families of mixed income. It would have townhomes and apartments. The final plan submission to HUD is November 22nd, and they should know who wins after that.
Certainly would be a game changer for that area, and hopefully the plans can make it through to the final round. Tonight, the Aiken County School District is mourning the loss of a teacher. Officials say Stephen Jones died unexpectedly early this morning in his home. This was Jones' first year at Aiken High School. He taught English. Before he was at Aiken High, he taught students at Schofield Middle for several years. Counselors were meeting with students today, and there will be some additional counselors on site tomorrow. Tonight, Columbia County deputies need your help finding this missing man. Logan Smith last seen walking on I-20 near the Appling-Harlem exit. He was wearing khakis and a green long-sleeve shirt, but he's diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, so if you see him, call deputies.
We have an update in the search for a Jefferson County prisoner still on the run. Police have found that road grader stolen by the inmate in Bloomingdale. That's down on the coast near Savannah. They're still looking for Robert Sawyer, though, who left this work area driving that equipment last Friday over near Bartow. Sawyer is serving time for multiple offenses, including possession of a firearm, and he should be considered dangerous. A Columbia County man is sentenced to life in prison for a rape and robbery that happened back in 2016. Damon Evans was arrested last year after being out on bond for years while he was waiting for trial. Prosecutors say Evans went into the King Spa on Bel Air Road in Martinez in May of 2016, shoved an employee to the ground, knocking her out. They say he then sexually assaulted another employee before taking a few $100s and leaving. The defense called it an injustice to try the case after such a long time. But the jury convicted him after deliberating for more than 2 hours and even re-entering the courtroom to watch the entire surveillance video from the crime.
South Carolina's Supreme Court is not allowing